Okay, looks like we're recording. So today I have a slideshow, and the slideshow is about sigils and it's about personal development. So let's dive in, see what you think. Let me share my screen and get things situated. There we go. So I found this animation. This is my tree sigils, Mike Downing, spring 2026. And we'll let it run through its paces. Like winter, spring, summer, fall, the winter. Okay, on we go. So what is a sigil? I use sigils as visual images for personal meditation. Think of it as a kind of mental anchor or daily reminder. You'll get it as I move forward. So you see this sigil on the screen. Let's see if I can wake up my mouse. Yes. And this is something I pulled off the internet, and all of this is for my personal use. And the idea behind me representing it to you is that if you want to incorporate any of this into your life in order to make you successful, which is my number one concern for all of you, then this is a good way to do it. And I'm hoping that you understand where I'm coming from by the end. I mean, this is not like really woo stuff or anything way out there. It's just about reminders on a daily basis so that you can focus and bring your attention to things. And I certainly found in my life that when you bring focus to something, you can change it or heal it, right? If you cut your hand and you pay attention to your finger because you cut it and you clean it and you put a band-aid on it and you change the band-aid the next day, the chances are that it's going to heal as opposed to neglecting it. So it's basically that. The sigil here that I got from the web, here's the way I interpret this. So I look at the human being here with the head and the stick body, and then air is the upside down triangle, but they've modified that a little bit. I'm going to interpret fire here as the sharpness of this one arm, let's say. And so you've got the human, and then you have earth, air, fire, water, spirit is typically how these sigils work. If you always wondered what these things were about, I mean, they represent different things. So what did I say? Human, and then air is the upside down triangle, fire, and then we have water, which is the wave. We also certainly have the air that carries the wave. The earth is the globe itself, and the spirit is the bounding of it all. Okay. So I use sigils as visual images for personal meditation. Think of it as kind of a mental anchor. Again, I know I said this. Looks like I need to make an edit, which I will do, or a daily reminder. I locate images that capture the sentiments, the various sentiments that I have. Then I copy and paste them into a document for myself. Then I print the document, hang it on the fridge, or tack it to my cork board. Then I look at it regularly to keep the concepts top of mind. And that's what's essential. I mean, you can have a realization one day, each day, but if you don't keep it top of mind, then it won't stay in focus and it won't get the attention that it needs and take you to where you want to go. For 2025, I did a search for tree-based sigils just for fun. Those images are included in this slideshow. One more of these introductions, and then we'll be able to buzz along pretty well. It's my belief that sigils, if you work with them in a dedicated way, can help manifest what you want in life. No kidding. For example, if you wake up every morning and you focus on the money sigil and say, I want to pursue money today, then you will likely find money in your life, even if it's little by little. It may come all at once. I mean, you hear the stories about Bill Gates dropping out of Harvard and going and starting a computer business named Microsoft and all that stuff. He wanted to pursue money, not education, so he pursued money. And he's a smart guy and all that. I don't know if he ever went back to college. I don't know, right? But it's what you focus on is what you manifest. Same for love, education, travel, courage, strength, all those things. Essentially, it's a seek and ye shall find kind of thing that involves focus and the law of attraction. I've practiced it in my life over the past several years, and it really works. So, for example, what are some of the sigils? Strength every day, gathering the strength to do the things that you need to do throughout the day, which is important. I'm summoning strength all the time. You know, as you get older, you pray for strength so that you can do the things you need to do. If you just choose one sigil and say, I'm going to work on strength, then that will manifest. You'll become stronger. Love, same idea. If you want to pursue love, and people often do, then it will come their way. If people aren't interested in love necessarily and don't want to form relationships, then they don't, right? They go in a different direction. So if you want love, you can pursue love. This one struck me in the heart. This is courage. And when I looked for a tree-based courage sigil, it gave me this. And this is a sculpture that appears, it's a metal sculpture that appears on the wall of a hospital. And these are breast cancer survivors. Talk about courage. Whew. So, in honor to them. See how this summoning of courage works, especially in that environment. Resilience. This one has helped me dramatically over the past several years. Again, as you get older, it's like, do I really need to keep doing all these things? I need to be not only strong, but I need to be resilient. And especially this day and age where we get bombarded by so much information through our phones, it's important to practice resilience. I really made progress on this one over the past several years. And you see the tree there that is gripping to the rock, that image of that. Here's the money example. If you were to have this as a sigil and you were to focus on money all the time, you may wander away from your education. So I'm not trying to talk you into it. Right now, if education and development and wisdom are top of mind, then pursue those things. Travel is certainly something that I've been focused on all my life, really. I'm a Sagittarian, so I love to travel. Let's go have fun. So those trees there, I think they're in Africa, and they're very special trees. They're 1,000 years old or something like that. So that's the idea there. But if you want to travel in life, then summon that sigil, and then manifest it, and you will go places. I promise you. Mental health, this is important. If this is something that you're struggling with, then right? If you meditate on that sigil, you will seek help. You will focus on healing, whatever you might need, or just maintaining. Productivity, if you need to be busy, then be busy. There's a time for that, and college certainly is a time. I mean, if many of you have 5 classes, some of you work beyond that. I did the same thing when I was in college. I worked all through college and had, the 5 classes that I had to take every semester and all of that. So I divided my time and really ramped up my productivity. And I met the expectations then of what was required of me and was able to be successful after a rocky start. Okay, compassion, then if you want to develop compassion, show compassion, experience compassion, that's the sigil there. Celebration of community, which is certainly important. Safety, personal safety. I mean, this is so important, especially for anybody, right? But for young people who are at risk, right? I mean, you guys often drive a lot of miles back and forth to school. You've got jobs. Yeah, there's stuff going on in your lives, and safety is something that constantly you need a reminder of on a regular basis to be safe. People say that to one another all the time. Safe travels, be safe. That's the number one priority. So you don't get out ahead of yourself and get hurt. The natural world. This is important to me for a variety of reasons. I think we are all connected to Earth, right? So it's something I like to meditate on, even though I don't have a lot of control over it. I do what I can to protect the environment, to protect what we put into the water, the soaps. We try to use natural products, etc. Buoyancy. Now, this one's a little different than resilience, right? This is when you start to get into these things, how you start to learn some of the differentiating factors. Like resilience is like when some stuff is going down, I can hang tough in that moment. I'm going to get through it. Buoyancy then is a little bit different. Buoyancy is when you get pushed under, you bob back up again. So it's not like, resilience is like constant in the moment, resisting what is happening or surviving what is happening. Buoyancy is, some days you get pushed down and then you get up again, kind of thing. So I think they're both useful. The idea of being forthright. Some people can struggle with this, speaking their truth, speaking what they know to be the truth. You're entitled to your truth. So speaking that integrity, being impeccable with your word. And this is actually, the image here is actually from a tree cutting company. I took the phone number off of it, but I thought it was funny. Wisdom then. If you want to pursue wisdom, this was something that was big with me in college. I realized that I was either going to go back to Erie and work at Hammermill Papers, which eventually closed, and I would have been laid off, and I would have been working in shops up there. And who knows that I was able to go off to Clarion University and fall in love with books and reading and learning. And I learned everything I could from everybody at Clarion as much as like I was surrounded by very smart people. So my practice was to learn as much as I could from them, from the assignments, from the books, from the writing, from the opportunity. Empathy, the power of empathy, if you want to develop that within yourself, and maybe others for you, then it's a good thing to focus on. Zen. So I'm a Buddhist practitioner. It's easy for me to say Buddhist practitioner. So Zen, I had to throw this one in there just to level myself out when things are getting too intense, right? There's too much stuff going on in the world. I just try to go to a Zen place and dial into that. Earthly ecosystems, yeah, always have that in mind. Spiritual guidance, whatever that means to you. And then long life, right? I love that image. So this one's a big one for me. Again, when you reach a certain age, you want to hang on. I want to have some good, healthy years ahead of me, and the idea of long life. So what happens when you begin to focus on that? You begin to get enough sleep, get enough water, get enough exercise. All that sounds trivial, but when you're in your 20s, you always don't do those things, but you can kind of get away with it. But then, you get older and that catches up to you. So it's good to focus on the things that keep us alive and keep us healthy. And then I threw these in at the end, the elementals, earth, air, fire, water, spirit, with the star being the depiction of the human being. And I thought these sigils were fun. These were done by the Sigil Witch. That's funny how I think it redid the slide. I usually put them earth, air, fire, water. So earth is the green, air, fire, water. All right, that's fine. On we go. That's it. The end. Hope you enjoyed the show. And, for what it's worth, we can chat. If you want to steal any of these ideas, please do. All right, that's it. Thanks.